MK Ultra. The name alone sends a chill down the spine. It wasn't fiction, it was a real, top-secret CIA program born in the Cold War. Its goal: weaponize the human mind, create the perfect spy, break an enemy's will. In the 1970s, congressional investigations exposed some of its horrors: LSD experiments, unwitting citizens as test subjects. The CIA called it a mistake, claimed it was over, files closed, legacy buried. But what if it never truly ended? What if it just changed its name, its methods, its face? The knowledge gained was too valuable to discard, the desire for control too strong. Some believe MK Ultra evolved, becoming more subtle, more pervasive. Its ghost may still haunt the machinery of modern life. The question remains, did the nightmare ever really end? Today we're bombarded by information. Media, advertising, social trends, all shaping our thoughts. We scroll through feeds curated by algorithms, watch shows pushing narratives, and believe we're in control. But are we? Or is there a hidden hand guiding our perceptions? Social media predicts our behavior, mass media defines reality, political campaigns use psychological operations. This isn't secret lab work, it's mind influence in plain sight. MK Ultra's crude methods, LSD, hypnosis, have been replaced by digital tools. Now control comes through the devices in our hands, the entertainment we consume, the news we read. The war for your mind is silent, unseen, and relentless. The objective remains: shape what you believe, how you see the world. The question isn't just about the past, it's about now. How much of your thinking is truly your own? To understand MK Ultra, go back to the 1950s Cold War paranoia at its peak. America feared communism, saw threats everywhere. The CIA worried the Soviets had discovered mind control, brainwashing American POWs, turning them against their country. The agency feared falling behind in this invisible arms race. If the enemy could control minds, they could extract secrets, create assassins, manipulate leaders. The CIA decided to fight fire with fire, master these techniques themselves. They sought truth serums, explored hypnosis drugs, psychological torture. CIA Director Alan Dulles approved a new secret program with a huge budget and little oversight. This was the birth of MK Ultra, a project born from fear, secrecy, and the desperate need for control. It would operate outside the rules, in the shadows. The goal: unlock the secrets of the mind at any cost. The consequences would be devastating. The CIA didn't start from scratch. They recruited Nazi scientists through Operation Paperclip. These men had conducted horrific experiments in concentration camps, crossing ethical lines American scientists hadn't. Their expertise in drugs, poisons, and psychological torture was now a prized asset. They brought forbidden knowledge and a lack of moral boundaries into the heart of U.S. intelligence. Nazi doctors consulted on interrogation, trauma, and breaking the human will. The CIA learned its darkest arts from the architects of the Holocaust. This alliance normalized using humans as test subjects, justifying any means for control. The knowledge imported from Nazi science became a cornerstone of MK Ultra. The program's origins are forever stained by this brutal legacy. MK Ultra was not just American, it was built on the horrors of the past. At the center of MK Ultra stood Sidney Gottlieb, the CIA's master chemist. Quiet, eccentric, brilliant, and ruthless. He led the agency's mind control efforts with near-total autonomy. Gottlieb became obsessed with LSD, believing it could shatter and rebuild the human mind. He authorized thousands of experiments, buying the world's supply of LSD and launching a massive testing program. Hospitals, universities, prisons, and CIA safe houses became sites of secret experiments. The test subjects? Prisoners, mental patients, drug addicts, people who wouldn't be missed. Gottlieb's team dosed unwitting citizens, recording their suffering without remorse. He turned Cold War fears into a terrifying reality, unleashing a program that violated every moral and legal boundary. Gottlieb believed he was protecting his country, but he left a legacy of trauma and mistrust. He was the mastermind who brought MK Ultra to life, and to infamy. The suffering he caused still echoes today. MK Ultra's monster was his creation. LSD was MK Ultra's weapon of choice. Gottlieb and his team believed it could break down and reprogram the mind. The CIA saw it as a truth serum, a tool for interrogation, even a way to incapacitate enemies. To test it, they dosed mental patients, prisoners, and drug addicts without consent. Doctors, funded by CIA fronts, observed their subjects' terror and breakdowns. Even CIA agents were secretly drugged to test their resistance. The most infamous case: Frank Olson, a CIA scientist, dosed without his knowledge, dead days later under suspicious circumstances. These experiments abandoned all ethics. Lives were collateral damage in the quest for control. LSD wasn't medicine, it was a weapon, leaving a trail of trauma and death. MK Ultra's acid tests unleashed chaos that still haunts its victims. The CIA's quest for mind control went far beyond chemical substances. Hypnosis was another area of intense focus. Sensory deprivation was a key component. This was designed to break down their sense of reality and make their minds more malleable. Under Dr. Ewan Cameron, patients were subjected to extreme electroshock therapy and drug-induced comas. While unconscious, they were forced to listen to looped audio messages. These methods revealed the true terrifying scope of MK Ultra's ambition to fundamentally alter who people were. They combined drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and electroshock into a horrific cocktail of psychological torture. It was a systematic effort to deconstruct the human soul, all in the name of national security. Operation Midnight Climax, a disturbing sub-project of MK Ultra, moved experiments into the real world. The CIA set up secret brothels in cities like New York and San Francisco, decorated with two-way mirrors and hidden microphones. Prostitutes lured unsuspecting men from bars, who were then given LSD. CIA agents observed behind two-way mirrors, filming the ordeal for study. The purpose was to study LSD's effects and perfect techniques for drug-assisted interrogations. Running for nearly a decade, it represents MK Ultra's moral depravity, violating citizens' rights in secret theaters of abuse. The official story is that MK Ultra was terminated in 1973. The CIA director at the time, Richard Helms, ordered all files on the project to be destroyed. Many researchers believe this was an act of burying the evidence, to ensure the program could continue in the shadows. The ambition to control the human mind did not simply vanish overnight. Consider the possibility that MK Ultra never truly ended, perhaps it just evolved. A much smarter approach would be to make the control invisible, to subtly influence the thoughts, emotions, and behaviors of entire populations at once. In today's world, the tools for such a program are everywhere, in our pockets, our homes, and our offices. The internet, social media, and the 24-hour news cycle have created the perfect infrastructure for mass psychological influence. This is the modern face of MK Ultra. It is a program that has shed its skin, leaving behind the messy evidence of LSD and torture. It is transformed into a sleek digital operation. The program didn't die, it just logged on. Psychological operations, or PSYOPs, are nothing new. They have been a part of warfare for centuries. The goal is to influence the emotions, motives, and reasoning of a target audience. During the Cold War, this often meant dropping leaflets from planes or broadcasting radio propaganda. But in the 21st century, PSYOPs have become infinitely more sophisticated. They are no longer just aimed at enemy soldiers on a battlefield. Today, they are often directed at civilian populations, including a country's own citizens. The new battlefield is the information space, and the weapon of choice is carefully crafted, narrative and disinformation. Think about how public opinion is shaped today. Powerful interests, including government agencies and corporations, spend billions on public relations and media campaigns. They work to create specific perceptions and to drive specific behaviors. They can create a sense of crisis or a feeling of security. They can make a political candidate seem trustworthy or dangerous. They can promote certain lifestyles and demonize others. This is done through the news we watch, the movies we see, and the stories that trend on social media. It is a constant, low-level hum of influence that shapes our reality without our conscious consent. Many theorists argue that these modern techniques are a direct continuation of the work started in MK Ultra. The original program sought to control individuals. The new version seeks to manage the perceptions of the masses. Instead of a truth serum to make one person talk, they use carefully selected news stories to make millions of people believe a certain truth. Instead of hypnosis to create one assassin, they use viral social media campaigns to incite outrage or apathy on a massive scale. The principles are the same. Find a psychological vulnerability and exploit it to achieve a desired outcome. This is a form of control that is much harder to identify and resist. When someone is physically forced to do something, they know they are being controlled. But when an idea is planted in their mind through media they believe the thought is their own. They feel they have reached a conclusion based on their own reasoning. This is the true genius of modern psychological warfare. It makes control feel like freedom. It convinces the population that the narrative they are being fed is the objective truth, making them willing participants in their own manipulation. The most powerful tools of this new era of mind influence are the algorithms that govern our digital lives. Every time you search for something online like a video or scroll through a social media feed, a complex set of calculations is working behind the scenes. These algorithms are not neutral. They are designed with a purpose to keep you engaged for as long as possible. To do this, they learn what you like, what you dislike, what angers you, and what makes you curious. They build a detailed, psychological profile of you, and then they use that profile to feed you content that will provoke a predictable emotional response. This creates what is known as a filter bubble or, an echo chamber. The algorithm shows you more and more of what it thinks you want to see, reinforcing your existing beliefs and shielding you from opposing viewpoints. Over time, this can subtly shift your perception of reality. If you are constantly shown content that suggests the world is a dangerous place, you will begin to feel more anxious and fearful. If you are only shown information that confirms your political biases, you will become more convinced that your side is right and the other side is evil. This is a form of passive, automated brainwashing. This technology is a social engineer's dream come true. It allows for the manipulation of public sentiment on an unprecedented scale. A state actor or a powerful corporation could theoretically use these algorithmic tools to promote social division, to quell dissent, or to push a population toward a specific political or commercial goal. They wouldn't need secret agents or hidden drugs. They would just need to understand how to manipulate the algorithms that already have a direct line into the minds of billions of people. This is not a distant sci-fi fantasy. The technology to do this exists right now. This is the invisible cage of the modern age. We live within these personalized information streams, believing we are freely exploring a vast world of knowledge. In reality, we are often walking down carefully constructed hallways, designed to lead us to specific conclusions. The legacy of MK Ultra is not found in secret prisons, but in the very code that structures our digital experience. The quest for mind control has evolved from a physical assault on the brain to a sophisticated, data-driven manipulation of our perceptions. The cage is invisible, but its bars are very real. Powerful government programs continue in the shadows, often brought to light by brave whistleblowers. Throughout history, they have pulled back the curtain on classified operations and government overreach. The original MK Ultra program was exposed because of investigations prompted by insiders who felt a moral duty to speak out. In the modern era, whistleblowers like Edward Snowden have shown us the shocking extent of government surveillance. His leaks proved that the technological infrastructure for mass psychological monitoring and influence is very real. Leaked documents sometimes contain unsettling language about shaping the information battlespace or achieving cognitive dominance. These signs suggest that the core ambitions of MK Ultra are alive and well within the intelligence community. The willingness to operate in extreme secrecy is a direct continuation of the mindset that gave birth to MK Ultra. The whistleblowers serve as a chilling reminder that the war for our minds never really stopped. One of the darkest goals of the original MK Ultra program was to create a programmed assassin, the so-called Manchurian candidate. This would be an individual who could be triggered, maybe by a key phrase or even a sound, to commit a political killing without any conscious awareness. While the CIA claimed it never succeeded, the concept has haunted the public imagination ever since. In the years that followed, a number of high-profile assassinations and mass casualty events have been carried out by individuals who seem to fit a disturbing pattern. Consider the case of Sirhan, the man convicted of assassinating Senator Robert F. Kennedy in 1968. To this day, Sirhan claims he has no memory of shooting Kennedy. His lawyers have argued that he was a victim of coercive hypnosis and mind control, programmed to be the fall guy for a larger conspiracy. Witnesses reported seeing a mysterious woman with Sirhan just before the shooting, a figure who has never been identified. This pattern of the lone, mentally disturbed killer who acts for unclear motives appears again and again in modern history. When we see real-world events that mirror the objectives of these declassified programs, it is logical to ask questions. Are these just tragic coincidences, or are we seeing the faint, horrifying echoes of MK Ultra's most sinister ambitions playing out on the world stage? The COVID-19 pandemic provided a real-world case study in mass psychological influence. It triggered one of the most intense and coordinated psychological operations in human history. This narrative was built on fear, creating a constant state of anxiety. This made people susceptible to mass formation, similar to mass hypnosis. A society under intense anxiety focuses on a single point of fear. They accept solutions offered by authority figures. Individuals who question the narrative are seen as immoral traitors, leading to ostracization. Sophisticated psychological pressure and media censorship were used. This period demonstrated how populations can be controlled through fear and information manipulation. The COVID era is an example of how psychological warfare can be deployed on a massive scale. We have journeyed through the dark history of Project MKUltra, from its origins in the Cold War to its experiments with drugs, hypnosis, and torture. The ambition to control the human mind led the CIA down a path of moral depravity. The official narrative tells us this nightmare ended in the 1970s. Did the shadow of MKUltra simply grow longer, enveloping our modern world? It is a living presence in the fabric of our society. They adapted, finding new homes in information technology, behavioral psychology, and mass media. The crude tools were replaced by algorithmic social engineering and targeted propaganda. Therefore, we are left with a chilling conclusion. Its spirit, ambition, and techniques are arguably more powerful today than its creators could have ever imagined. The shadow it casts is an integral part of our present reality. It is easy to feel a sense of hopelessness. What can any single individual possibly do? It can feel as though we are trapped in an invisible cage. However, awareness itself is a powerful form of resistance. The war for your mind is a war for your attention. Reclaiming your mind begins with reclaiming your attention. This means becoming a conscious and critical consumer of information, questioning mainstream media. By consciously choosing where we place our focus, we build a defense against psychological influence. Engaging in face-to-face conversation with people who hold different beliefs breaks this spell. The strongest defense against manipulation is a well-formed, independently minded community. The human mind is resilient and possesses an innate desire for freedom and truth. By becoming aware of the game being played, we change the rules. The final frontier of freedom is within.